It's the one disc that I think should be in everybody's bag is the Justice. It is so reliably overstable, one of the best utility discs I've ever thrown, and it does exactly what it needs to. It's a workhorse, you can trust it, and I don't know, it rarely lets you down. So try Justice, you won't be disappointed. Such a good disc.
You cannot not have a Justice, if that makes sense. This is one of the best utility discs, if not the best utility disc I've ever thrown. It's super flat, super overstable. The course we've been playing today has a lot of water crossing shots, and I've been throwing it all over the place because it's predictable in the wind. I know what it's going to do every single time. Don't have to worry about it. So if you want something that you can flick really well, that's a mid-range, or something that you can really just crank on, not ever have to worry about it turning over, get a Justice.
The Justice, Lucid Justice, I keep it in the bag for windy days. Anytime I need maybe a forehand approach. It does not come out of the bag very often. Being in Kansas where it's super windy most of the time, that's when the disc comes out for approaches in the wind, when I know for a fact that maybe the truth's not gonna quite hang up to the wind. I know for a fact the Justice will.
This is a Fusion Justice. It's got the GBO stamp on it from 2015. The Justice is a disc that you don't really need to throw a lot, but when you do, it is the perfect disc for that shot. It's very, very, very overstable. I use it backhand and forehand both. Very dependable in the wind. If it's too windy for an approach shot for the slammer, you know, sometimes you get in high winds where you just don't really want to use a putter. The Justice is what I go to for both backhand and sidearm, so very dependable.
This thing is incredibly overstable. I do not use it very much. It's more of a utility disc if I need kind of a flare shot or a really overstable forehand shot that needs to turn hard and quick. I'll use the Fusion Justice.
It's a good utility disc. I don't really throw it too often, but I do throw it for hyzer shots or if it's a pretty windy day. It tends to hold up, so I really like the Justice as well.
This Justice, I have a Lucid Justice. I use it pretty much the same as that, but this is going to get a little more action on the ground than the Slammer does because of the plastic type. This is a Lucid version, so it might skip a little bit, but really this Justice dumps for me. I use it utility in the woods, I use it on a sidearm, I use it backhand to get some really good skip shots, but I use this disc a lot. Gets me out of a lot of trouble.
This is a very flat Lucid Justice, and just like the Criminal, the Justice only knows one thing. If I'm throwing it backhand, it's going to the left. Never going to turn, extremely reliable. It's a great utility disc. I really love the Justice. I don't know if you can see how beat up the edge of this is, but I've had this since the Justice first came out, and this is the same one I've been using since then. Very, very overstable still, which is one of my favorite things.
Definitely my utility disc, and it is a Fusion Dymax Justice. I love to throw this disc forehand. I tend to roll my wrist sometimes, but the Justice really can handle that kind of torque. And so I know that I can throw this full power, and if I need those just 100 to 150 foot up shots on a forehand, I will absolutely pull out the Justice every single time. It's just so reliable, and it seems to just go right under the basket every single time.